So we're just having a look at the large orders that are sitting on the book. So we can see 125 contracts sitting at 191.75, and then let's see if this is still here. You know, there's a 250 lot at 232 evens. So that'll be the range for ES. I know it's you know, approximately 191. Yeah, it's about 20 tick range. That will typically be the range for pre-market. I was saying about open interest. If you guys don't utilize open interest, as well as the COT report that comes out on Friday, you should maybe start having a look at it. You know, it gives you an idea if the trend over the last couple of days is, you know, it's got any validity and strength to it, to be honest, or are we just in a stop run? Typically speaking, I think in ES it was about 13k contracts carried over from the Monday. ES was actually negative, which is surprising considering ES carried over 13 contracts. Now, considering we ended extremely positive delta on the day, chances of that being contracts long are pretty high for the bets on interest rates. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. It just means essentially if we are if we're bid for 2 days, and say open interest was slightly higher for those 2 days, say for example plus 40k, and then we take out the week lows, it means we're going to have a nice big stop run. So all of this is just context for when you're looking to take positions. Let's see where NQ's got some orders. NQ's got some up here, some size that's been sitting. And then I think let's check on the bid. The bid is already capped in the range. So yeah, so ES is looking pretty strong here to go up and fill. So is ES as well. So see how NQ behaves when it goes up to this 50 lot up here in these levels. This is where the price looks to be going, to be honest, at the moment. Very standard. Price goes up here, fills this out, and then returns back to the POC. The most classic, super classic, and then yes. Let's get this big order up here. Let's have a look at oil. Is just ready to do nothing. They do this in every market. They just cap the range, especially in ES. And this is on gold. Yeah, these books so thin. So we'll probably run the stream here for an hour or so. It's interesting to see how people take positions when the market's like this, honestly. I mean, you literally, you're not even becoming reactive, to be honest. You're just going to be guessing, you know. the only trade that I would even consider would be wait till the market goes up and maybe fills these and then see what order flow dictates, and then you're going to fade back down to this sort of level. To be honest, that's the only thing. Or you can buy now and then potentially see if price is going to go up there, but this could very easily just go back to the POC down here. So if you leave a comment if you watch this in the replay, just to see if you've used Bookmap or any other order flow tools, just to see what you use, would be interesting. We're looking like we're going to go bid. See a little bit of a pop. I mean, I'd be very surprised if ES goes up and fills here, to be honest. Very surprised. Let me know if you guys would rather have all equities up here, or if you enjoy having some commodities like gold and oil, or you'd rather have ES, NQ, Russell and Dow up. If you're watching this and you want to have your DOMs set up like this, you can go to the video that's there. Nice, buddy, thanks. Yeah, it's hard when you first start, man. You know, you feel like you're streaming to no one, I would say, but everyone's got to start somewhere, man. That's that's just how it is. And to be honest with you, buddy, on what you're saying, like this is real trading. You know, none of this moving average cross, you know, nonsense indicator stuff that you see that everyone posts a fair value gap nonsense on TradingView. You know, this is real trading. I've been trading for 10 years, so a long time. You know, 90% of the shit you see on YouTube is just garbage. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Exactly, man. Well, the thing is, you know, I'm trading anyway, so the, as you know, mate, if you trade, it's a relatively lonely endeavor, right? You know, especially when it's one of your main sources of income. So if you can stream, build a bit of community, people, and try and assist some people that are struggling, you know, even better is the way I see it. But we're trying to um, weed out all the shit that you see on YouTube. To be honest with you, you know, there's just so much nonsense. So we try and keep it pretty straightforward here, man. So do you trade? What's your deal? You know, what markets do you trade? Do you trade on Sierra as well, or what platform do you use? There's nothing exciting happening at all here. NQ pulling back to the POC. Oh, DOM and tape. You use Jigsaw. Nice. Nice. Jigsaw's a good platform. The DOM's really good. The DOM's really good in Jigsaw. I actually, as you can see, this is Sierra, um, and I prefer Jigsaw DOM, but I prefer Sierra for charting. So instead of having to pay for two packages, I basically made a Jigsaw DOM on Sierra. It's probably it's difficult to get the exact DOM, of course, when you're streaming. Um, but I've got the best bid and best ask on there as well. Like there, you can see it on NQ, which to be honest, man, was really difficult to set up in Sierra, but it's good when you set it up for sure. Do you use anything else for context? Like, do you use volume profile or market profile or anything? I tend to I use market profile for context. Um, I keep each for Monday to Friday for the current week as an example. I keep in individual days, but then merge weekly profiles behind that to see what value is. And then areas that I look to do business at, and then typically look at the DOM around the areas that I look to do business, and then you know the most classic trade, to be honest, is just a sweep of pre-market high, or the previous day's high as an example. If you saw today that before the sell-off in NQ, I was uh, I was looking to fade, and we literally, we sweep to high by like a couple of ticks. I was I was wanting a bit more of a sweep, to be honest with you. It was a really small sweep. You had hard tried Sierra for DOMs, had a hard time setting up. I only use DOM and tape, market profile for levels, nice and nothing else. The more I had, the more I got lost. Yeah, mate, to be honest with you, exactly. Exactly. So really good points. I mean, I've been a Sierra OG, but man, I've lost days of my life on this platform setting it all up. Um, and to be honest with you, the stuff that's on the impetus for actually starting the channel was, you know, to find similar traders that are doing order flow. Is majority of the time it's hard to find traders that really know what they're doing. Hence the stats of everyone fails. Um, and also to try and assist people with Sierra, because I think it's a really good platform. It's built by developers. The dudes that have built it have got zero marketing skills at all. It's the worst made website I've seen, to be honest with you. Um, but once you get it all set up, I've got a video on the channel of how to set the DOMs up like this. Um, it doesn't have the tails for the DOM, which I don't know if you used that or not. And you know, a lot of people have been harping on the Sierra for ages now. Um, I'm doing so as well. I'm probably going on and blasting them in the chat every now and then. The one thing that's missing, the DOM is missing on Sierra is just the text box at the side that you've got on Jigsaw where you can just type like sweep or stops or whatever, just free type. Sierra's is a little bit more hotkey and it's just not great. So that's the only downside I would say. Um, the data and reliability of the platform though is I'd never have any outages ever. Like it never even comes into my mind to be honest with you. Outages and stuff. And then regarding levels, I use market profile too. But I would probably say I don't take any trades when we are typically when we're inside value of the day. I normally like to fade at extremes. I would say this morning on the Russell, it was the one that was looking the most bullish, so I took a couple of longs down there, and then just held, and I think I got out about 20 ticks or so below the before the high, and then a couple other trades. There was I'm just trying to think what other trade did I take in. Was it oil? Yeah, I took a trade in CL today where we had a nice sweep of the low. Let me just double check that actually. Let me just bring up the chart. I just want to see what it was. Yeah, it was oil. Yeah, so oil. I took a short actually, and then got out of the sweep of the low. That was the trade. So I took a short on the first leg down, just at market open. I would pull back, and then I got out of the sweep of pre-market low pretty much. Then just went bid for the session, and then I was waiting on. It was a nice sweep of the highs. I don't know what markets you trade. Uh, what markets you trade though, but I typically trade any of them to be honest with you. Well, that's not true. Not any of them. I used to be an ES specialist, but I tend to find that if you're only watching one market, you tend to force trades a little. So I switch between the four main that I trade is ES, NQ, gold, and oil, and then I'll sometimes dip my toes into YM or the Russell or RTY. How is market profile um on Jigsaw? I've never actually seen market profile on Jigsaw. Or do you use a different platform for that? Nice. We want to see how NQ behaves when price gets up to this 50 lot, if it does get there. But yeah, look at oil. Oil's an algo paradise at the minute. So here's a question for you if you're trading DOM and tape. Because you're using Jigsaw, do you use the sounds price squawk? Is that what it's called? Basically, tick strike equivalent. Um, do you use that, or do you find that gets a bit noisy for your time and sales and your tape? How do you have it filtered? Do you go for price, the same price and type, or do you have two where you've got a do not combine data, including maybe one and two lots, just to check the speed of the tape? And then do you have one filtered for maybe above 20 or 30 lots to see when larger traders are going? To be honest, I notice, especially when the VIX is this low, uh, large traders that are blocks are cutting them down a lot more at the moment, into 20, 30 lots in clips rather than just dumping the full size, to be honest with you. Nice. Yeah, I would say one thing that's missing from Sierra that would be nice to it would be nice to probably visualize on a chart, would be the iceberg indicator. I'm not too sure how reliable. I mean, I don't know if you've used Bookmark before. Um, I know a lot of people rave about it, but to be honest with you, I think it's Squawk Command because breaking news. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I use Tick Strike for mine, and I tend to have it on relatively, what's the right word for that, low sensitivity. So I have like a threshold of like 11, for example. Just to put it into perspective, the highest 15, you know, and the lowest being 1. So the sensitivity I have it at about 11, so that I just see some size coming in, because otherwise the ticking or the noise all day would drive me bonkers, to be honest with you. Especially when you're watching multiple markets, man. I'll actually let me turn on the alerts here. I've got alerts on here, so I've got a shortcut to turn them off. So I'll just put them back on for you, and we'll see if we get any size. I think it was 100 traded on pre-market. It was 100 traded here. I think it was at 30 in NQ, 30 in oil, and 30 in gold in these current conditions. But yeah, back on to what's your thoughts on Bookmap? Have you used that platform before at all? Interesting to hear your thoughts, and then I might go off on a tangent, to be honest. I'll make sure and turn this volume down for these alerts, just so you're not getting broken ears. Yeah, I've got it pretty low. See if I can adjust my own, to be honest. Bookmap with MBO and right add-ons can be amazing, but just to show the heat map alone, it's useless. Yeah. So I I like the iceberg or the stop indicators on there, right? The trouble is, um, you probably need to adjust the thresholds massively on it. As an example, if you watch that Think with Bookmap dude who's live streaming, I think his settings are not great on it, because I've watched the DOM and it's called like an iceberg on NQ when there's been like 10 contracts or something traded, you know, something nonsense. Um, I mean, I have MBO data here with Sierra, obviously, to see these large orders, and you know, I can filter this to show more, but it's just too much on the screen, you know. I'm not really caring about algos that are laying, you know, 333 on the bid, to be honest, because they're just constantly refreshing to get a good queue position. But I do feel it's a little bit overpriced. Um, it's good for the heat map for liquidity, as you know from looking at the DOM. The market typically likes to go up and fill those large orders, ones that sit there for a while, like these on NQ. Um, you know, they tend to not get pulled when they sit there for a period of time, right? But you know, you'll see some weird shenanigans, of course. I think when the market was pretty volatile on the sell side with NQ today, there was 100 lot that flashed and then it just pulled straight away without even trading. Do you get MBO data with Jigsaw? What's the data that they have? Oh, nice. Nice little stop run there on NQ, and then the standard snapback. Classic. Oh, nice. And this is where the DOM is powerful, right? This type of stuff. It happens all day. You know, specifically at the key reference points. What, they don't believe in MBO data? Oh, really? Wow. Oh. God, you've got to love these algos, man. You know, sweep the highs, absorb these orders, and then just bash it down. You know, classic. Classic. Imagine the poor smucks that are buying here as well. uh, it's the Peter guy. His he knows his stuff. He's quite good content. The guy that owns Jigsaw. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm honest with you, mate, I pretty much majority of my trades is fading. Um, and in pre-market, I only fade. You know, majority of the time, this is what happens. It's just sweeping. NQ, as you know, is a little bit more volatile. I didn't really catch ES, but it doesn't look like we swept. But yeah, fading pre-market is the way to go. You're never getting any follow through at all, man. Not at all. I was going to put up the time in sales to be honest, but it makes you know, makes it probably pretty hard to read. And I mean, what you're looking at, you know, can you imagine people that have never executed a trade in a DOM? They're going to come in here and they're going to be like, "What the hell is this?" You know, I thought maybe the four DOMs would intrigue people. To be honest, if 100 people can sit and watch bubbles on a chart, people can watch 4 DOMs, right? And that was I keep on going off in tangents here, but my main I would say grievance with Bookmap is the volume dots, you know, or their bubbles. I don't think they're very accurate, to be honest with you. The bubbles. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. It's super easy to. It's super easy to work out. I've got the recent bid and ask volume in the middle. I've got a hotkey set up. I'll just clear gold here. So I've got a hotkey set up just to clear, which is nice. Just clear NQ. And some of the settings I've got here is ES will use, so it aggregates at the price at the bids, and then the um, if it goes back within 2.5 seconds after it leaves the price, and it's 2.5 seconds away from that, it will then refresh the order. But it aggregates, so when it goes offered, then it goes bid. It'll aggregate at these prices, for example, which is good. Looks like we're getting the sweep. We'll see what happens with this 50 lot up here. Interesting uh, if the market takes it out. Yeah, that's the one thing that's Sierra doesn't have is the momentum tail. I know there's a couple of people have asked for it. To be honest, I'm not too bothered with the momentum tail. I just want a text box, like something simple so I can just like say I see a sweep or a stop run here, I could just quickly go sweep or something. Because if you look at our chart and you forget the exact numbers all the time, right? I tend to make a note on it, but I'd much rather be able just to make a quick note on the chart. That's one feature that we're missing in Sierra. Ugh. And then I've got pulling and stacking as well, just 10 levels, which I've had on for so long now. Um, I used to have more levels, like 20, but I've had it 10 now for a pretty long time. I think 20 is a bit pointless because by the time price gets there, it's going to be changed anyway. This is more reactive to see if prices have been pulled or not, you know. So as an example, we can see the offer been pulled, bid been stacked, which is pretty it's a pretty confirmation of what you'd expect right now for the price about to break the highs. So I think ES is probably going to lead here. Can't you make a filtered tape with above and below highlighted and you look for the timestamps to determine if it's a sweep? Yeah, you can. So you can for sure. Sweeps you can make certain colors on the time and sales. Just trying to think. So there's a number of settings you can do on the time and sales. Obviously, you can color the the volume that comes in. You can highlight sweeps, and you can also highlight a volume above a certain price, and you can obviously have the time, price, and volume in there, so you can check for sure. I just tend to find that um, when I've got the tape up as well, it moves really quickly. I always have two tapes up, to be honest. So I've got one to just see the speed of the tape, and then I've got one that pretty much is filtered for above 20 lots on ES, and 20 to be honest. On basically, I'm only interested in seeing on the tape where large traders are coming in, what the speed of tape is. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You can set that. Also, you can just like, of course, you can set conditions and alerts for. I wish actually some of these would trade, so you can. I'm just gonna double check. I actually didn't mute the alerts in general. No, the alerts are still there. So I've got an alert that pings off just to let me know I have that running in my ear during RTH to let me know for size going off in one market. I don't know if you've said this yet, but what do you trade? Do you trade? You know, you're a specialist. Do you watch multiple markets? I've got I would say a weird fetish for treasuries. You know, it's not an adult channel, but yeah, I've got that for treasuries. You know, where maybe I'll trade ZN or ZB. So, and they're like a scalper's dream, man. You know, couple of ticks, few contracts. You know, especially when it's around the point of control as well. You know, you can typically take a tick super easy, and you can put in 3 4 contracts in these markets and not even be noticed. And do you trade a personal account as well, or do you just trade a prop? Main markets yes, then classically out. NQ, Euro, gold and oil. Nice. Just see what's happening. And when you have to hit a market during breaking news. Nice. So do you typically just jump into a market if you know offers get pulled massively or something? I've actually not been trading the yen. Um, I used to trade FX years and years ago. Nice. I used to trade FX years ago. Um, and I like your style for trading the euro, but you need to be doing a decent amount of size, and the contract amount is not a lot. It's not that volatile, uh, the euro, so you need to be. Yeah, it's a good market to be honest. Super liquid pair. The last time I remember there on the MBO data, for some reason, there's just algorithms that are stacking 36 contracts in every price. I don't know why, if it's still the same. It was weird. I don't know if I'm still doing that. The last time I watched the Euro, I think I remember off the top of my head, is it like $6.75 or something like that a tick? Yeah, CL was really good today, man. Did you catch the short initially, or did you catch the sweep and then the bid? I missed the sweep of the high by a couple of ticks, and I was fucking pissed. Like the sweep of the high, my entry was a couple of ticks above the sweep, and it just missed it as well. I was like, right, I think the high was pretty much a couple of days point of control. Um, you know, and I think the offer was pulled. Just trying to think off the top of my head, the offer was pulled to get to the highs, so sellers weren't really seller. Yeah, the offer was pulled. There was not a lot of bids to get there, so we saw it was glorious for a sweep. It was all the context of a perfect sweep happening, to be honest, and I missed it by a couple of ticks. He's pissed. Yeah, yeah, it's a fucking juicy sweep as well. Yeah, yeah. I would say the one side, my trade thesis is normally always golden, but like everyone, it struggles, man. I'm not too sure about you, but my mic just died. Um, the trade management is always the hardest part, right? Especially when we're trading sweeps and stuff, because you always know yourself. You just don't know how much they're gonna fucking sweep it. So I think normally if I go for a sweep, I try and or if I'm buying a breakout, I'll get out in the first sweep. I don't normally trade breakouts though, to be honest. But if it is the sweep, um, I'll normally, if I'm in and it doesn't snap back pretty quickly, then I'll try and scratch. Or if it's at a decent level above, I'll then maybe look to add you know, depending on if that was the plan for the initial trades. And then maybe look to take it to the next recent reference point, like a point of control or value area or something. Yeah, exactly. It's spot on, mate. It's a really good way to look at it, to be honest with you. I think trading is like a true testament to yourself, to be honest. Um, Before I go off on that, let's see if we're gonna hit how the market's gonna respond when we take this 50 lot. We're getting eerie close to it, but yeah, equities are so correlated in pre-market. It's madness, to be honest. But yeah, trading, um, trading is essentially you're working on yourself constantly, right? Um, and I think one of the main, I'm assuming you journal, of course, right? I think over time I've realised that you should really just focus on the factor rate because every trade, the one thing I've learned, I think people kind of look at it the wrong way, is risk to reward, right? Granted, you want it to be a positive number, of course, but risk in a trade is a movable thing. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people are like, you've got to take at least 1 to 1, for example. But when you get in a trade, everything changes, all the time. You know, offers get pulled, bids get stacked, more absorptions happening than what you would like. Do you know what I mean? So I know there's a camp where you could just say, if I buy at this price and I don't get out for 1 to 1 or whatever the number is. But I personally believe if you remove that side and you just focus on factor rate, you know yourself if you've looked at charts and DOMs long enough when to hold and when not to hold, right? And then when you're seeing shit you don't like, you start to go, okay, if the market doesn't break here, we see some more absorption, or we see some sweeps happening, it's not in my favour, then it's time to maybe scale or get out, right? And then over time, the factor rate is what you focus on. You know, I'm not saying go for like a point 0.5 R or anything. I'm just meaning in general. A lot of people get hung up on risk to reward, like, oh, we'll go for this 1 to 3, 1 to 2, all the time. It doesn't work like that. I think it's more important just to manage the down days, man. As you know yourself, you've got no problem putting in tons of green days, but it's the red days that fucks everyone. So if you can keep the red days, the same as your average green day, then you're on to a winner, right? Yeah, that's a good way to do it, man. Exactly. Exactly. Average win to average loss ratio is a better way to measure it. Or average winning day versus average losing day, and then just make sure you're having more winning days than losing days or whatever, right? That's the way I see it, to be honest. And it tends to be that, when I'm hot for a day, I'll have a series of winning trades, and the market's just in a good balance, and we're sweeping, and and I tend to press a little bit in those days, to be honest. Um, and in days that I'm not, I typically just make sure that I don't lose more than an average winning day. That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. The problem that happens with a lot of traders is they over leverage, they take too much size, they double down at the wrong times into positions, and they let the losing days go off the page. So it takes them a week to bring back a um, one bad trade, for example. That's the number one sin I think that everyone does. If people are trading prop, and I don't, I've traded, I've got my own personal account, I trade through Edge Clear, um, and I trade prop. I've had accounts with the two main suspects. I personally think trailing drawdown is terrible. Um, I know you've got a lot of big streamers that are, pumping it massively. To be honest with you, um, I just don't think. I just don't. The trailing drawdown is so far away, man, from just general market conditions. Yeah, trying to always avoid red days, sweeping 2 or 3 days of progress. Yeah, you're spot on, mate. That's exactly it. Just keep it the same as one average red day. If every trader did that, just as a rule, like if that was a sticky note on your computer that said keep keep the fucking red days the same as your green days, and just have more green days, and then make sure that your average win and average loss are somewhere in the same ballpark. It's happy days. But anyways, onto the trailing drawdown, right? It is um it's brutal. You basically, it's so far away from like actual market conditions, it's a joke. So you can't actually trade. You almost have to adapt your strategies around these prop firms to jump through the stupid hoops that they put up. You know, and loads of people beat themselves up because they fail them. But these challenges are literally, they're designed to fail. It's kind of like going to a theme park or something, right, and throwing shit around one of the hoops and getting a big teddy. You know, um, they make it really difficult so it's just designed for you to lose or be really difficult anyway. And I mean, there's no other rule for that, right? The two main ones I think are pitched as being good for traders that are not. One for Apex is trailing drawdown is somehow good because you lock in small wins all the time. No, it doesn't. For good traders, that means that you have to basically cap any of your wins, because if you have a decent trade and it goes back to break even, you somehow lose on that trade. It's absolutely moronic. And then Top Step, another one. Top Step's a good company, the rules are better, but the one thing I don't agree with is the scaling plan at all. The scaling plan is pitched as, you've just got your accounts now. You need to make X before you can increase it. That is not there to help traders. That is there to protect their bottom line, to stop people getting in and hitting a decent trade and then withdrawing. I think the 5 days of withdrawal rules that are in these companies are a little bit harsh. Top Steps is slightly better, but Apex is ridiculous. Apex is, give us 5 jumping jacks, 10 trading days, a certain balance, make sure that you've only taken X amount of trade. It's just fucking ridiculous, honestly. I suppose you've got to play by the rules and stuff, man, but it's certainly not for you, right? And that's the thing. There's something in the back of my mind just with how Apex is structured. I've got accounts with Apex, by the way. Um, and something how Apex is structured, it just doesn't sit right with me. The way their website was before, the way none of their accounts are live. They keep it quite hush. How all of the streamers have moved to there as well. You know, Not that I'm trying to create conspiracy theories or anything here, but it's just something that doesn't quite sit right with me for some reason with them. But yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, you're fucking respect, man. You're paying fucking $50 and getting access to some Benjis. What can you say? It's not exactly going to be run by proper institutions, is it? Another one of my glorious tangents, man. But yeah, what's your general thoughts? Which ones do you trade with? If you tried any of the other like I don't know what they call trade evates. Sorry, not trade evates. Trade day. Any of those ones? Nice. Okay. So I take it you're with if you're going with the end of the day, I take it you're with Top Step then. Nice. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, Top Step's good. Um, Top Step's pretty good. What's your thoughts on this Top Step X platform that's coming out? Um, what's your thoughts on that? There's only one thing I would say about Top Step they need to fix. Oh. Is I've got 3 accounts with each. I've got 3 accounts with Apex and 3 accounts with Top Step, and the only thing I would like to see them do is adjust the micro combinations, um, just to give you more flexibility. To be honest, because I'm more in the camp of having smaller accounts and copy trading them than having a bigger account. To be honest, I don't really see the point of having a bigger account. The main reason is the profit target goals are much harder to pass them, you know, and they cost more money as well, and even they probably cost like 4 times the amount of money, um, and then you're only getting double the drawdown. To be honest, oh, convenience. Oh, pardon me. It's um, it's six and a half a dozen really. Whatever anyone prefers. 3 accounts, smaller accounts, or one large account, or fuck three large accounts. I would like to see Top Step offer more accounts and more combinations, more sorry, micro to mini adjustments, so that they match, just to give people more flexibility. As I think on the small accounts, if you're trading 1 and 2 minis, you're gonna get wrecked pretty quickly. So look at that. Did we that sweep? Was that last week that we saw up there, the last one? Now we're back at POC. How classic, huh? I get caught in a gold short on Monday. It was pretty rough, and I knew we were going to go down, so I made some back on it this morning, early. I actually had a pretty good trading day, but gold. I think I literally I had a position on. It was in nice profit on Sunday Open. See with that massive bid that we had. I don't know if you remember on Sunday Open, we had a fiendishly large bid on gold, and I faded, and I got out. I got out about half my position, and the half of the position was the low. Oh god, it was brutal. I tried the new platform, but the DOMs are met. Oh jeez, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to blast Top Step, but there's something weird going on about that Top Step X platform, man. You know, if you check out Sim2 Funded, I'm hoping the company Sim2 Funded is owned by Top Step. Otherwise, it's curtains. To be honest with you, curtains being a nightmare. You know. Um, just seems really weird to me why they would not go to like a quant tower or an already established platform and say, hey guys, we're one of the largest prop firms with X amount of clients and X amount of new accounts per month. What's your best prices? And we'll open shit tons of licenses with you every month. Any platform is going to say, no problem, here's a wholesale rate and you guys can crack on. Do you know what I mean? That would make more sense. Kind of like Edge Clear has white labeled Motive Wave. To be honest, their X Trader platform or something. Yeah, to be honest with you, man, the I don't know. I'm not at all impressed with the platform. How buggy it's having. There's issues with it daily. I'm trying to blast them too much, man, as I think they do a good job in the industry, but it just seems a bit sus to me that they are pumping people into this platform with data that they now can manage. Do you know what I mean? It's not these guys should be staying far away from that. Do you know what I mean? Um, it makes more sense to me as a business to go nail Rhythmic and CQG or whoever they get their data from, nail them to the wall rather than building this janky platform. And if you go into Sim2 Funded, you can see it's a white label platform. So either one of two things. I'm hoping it's the latter. Either they've instructed a random company to build them software that's not got any clients, that's in beta, or they've set up a sub company building out the platform using all the top step dudes as dummies, as crash dummies or guinea pigs to test everything out, give them feedback, and then try and release Top Step X as a platform in its own right for people to trade. That's my only, suppose, hope. But the thing is, man, when you're, I actually run a tech company. It's what I do in my day job. It's my own business as well, and you're, connectivity and APIs and integrations are where the money's made. there's no point reinventing the wheel. Like, how can you compete with like Sierra and Jigsaw, for example? The platforms are dynamite. Some weird platform with basically with they've done an API into TradingView and get embedded TradingView charts with some DOM and some data feed coming in. You know, it's it doesn't make any sense to me. They should be focusing on prop firms, focusing on putting that revenue into developing traders and stuff rather than these platforms. I don't know. It's not my, it's not my business. So, and also as well, I'm fucking going off on tangents here, mate. But another thing that the CEO goes on and trades every day as well, or he did for a period of time. I found that out the other day. That kind of concerns me in itself as well. You know, the guy's a CEO of a business of a large entity. Um, he shouldn't be trading. He should be running the business. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm at work, I work from home. I work remotely, right? And I watch the markets like 4 or 5 hours a day. But I'm always on the ball. I know exactly what's happening at any stage in time in the business. And this chap's sitting watching NQ. You know, I just don't think the CEO of a company should be watching fucking NQ trade. To be honest, you know. But anyways, he's built a successful setup. Good luck to him. You know. Um, but I just think that there's Top Step could improve other things rather than spunking their money into some weird platform they're doing. And it seems like to me there's a now I think about it, there's a reason why they've not integrated uh, micros, or a fair split between micros and minis into Rhythmic. As you know, man, if you've traded Apex, they've got that, right? And when they're opening these via an API call from their end, it will literally be a configuration. It will literally be a change in the parameter for them to decide how many contracts there is. Do you know what I mean? And convert it from micros to minis. It's already a default within Apex. There's not going to be any form of crazy difference there for a technology side. It's just not. So my thoughts on it is they're not going to probably do the integration for the micros to minis for a while. Get everyone onto Top Step X because that's why they're offering it there. Because normally new traders trade micros, you know, and then they'll go on there and they can reduce their costs. Because what would be an interesting stat would be to see how much these companies have to pay for account opening per month for Rhythmic and Tradeovate or whatever. I can't imagine it being much, mate. They try and package it that you're paying for the data and stuff, but they're not. I wouldn't be surprised if they're paying, a fixed fee per month to Rhythmic, to be honest with you. I should really just change the titles of these streams and just be like, Mr. OrderFlow rambles for hours. We've not even spoken about the markets. I suppose what you might do in pre-market, mate, right? There's fucking nothing happening, so what can you do? We've been at the same price in ES for like 15, 20 minutes. It's moved to 4 ticks. $4.50 is the price they're paying, which is the CME top book for Top Step. Oh, really? Didn't know that. Is that their costs? Hmm. That's the price they're paying for each book for each account they have to open, right? Okay. And then of course they're charging you for L2, right? Hmm. So now that you said that, I wonder then what they're doing I bet you the amount of accounts they're opening then, if they're trying to sort of consolidate that feed, they're paying for one feed in, consolidating that feed and displaying it through their own somewhat to try and reduce those fees. They did a promo in April where you just had to pay the CME data, so they charge $49 for a combine. Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's going to be the margin, right? And actually, on top of it, for you to open an account, it's probably $190. So, if you include the activation fees, um, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, call it $200, just for easy math. And they know themselves that probably only 10% of people actually pass the thing. Probably slightly more than that, to be honest. I would say maybe 20% of people pass. And then there's probably a few that only go on to get a payout, you know. So it all makes sense. It's just an insurance casino model, isn't it? The only thing that I would say is a little bit. I like the Top Step put you live, right? I already trade live anyway, so it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand the advantage of going live to have some risk dudes potentially tell me, uh, hey, I can set a stop loss for you or something. Do you know what I mean? Or I can adjust your targets or whatever you want. I can do that myself. I can do that within Sierra. I've already got all of that. I just basically I don't understand the point of going live with these companies. All they're doing is taking like 20% of your earnings for doing it a lot and shifting you off their books so they don't need to pay you. To be honest. I don't know if you spoke to any of the live traders on there. Is there any other advantages? Because I've not seen any in the blurb unless there's some sort of Illuminati hidden group that we're not knowing of, to be honest. Yeah, that's true, and that's the thing is they put you live, but my thought process is there anything that is advantageous to the trader to not just say thanks very much, but no thanks. You know, I mean, what would make sense is if you can be a live trader and then just trade the XFAs or something with them, because ultimately the whole point of being a prop firm is reducing your risk, right? It doesn't make any sense for me, for example, to combine the three accounts, move to live, and give 20% of the profit I make to Top Step, and the only perks that you're getting would be access to a risk manager. Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna do call you for the day, be like, buddy, you fucked it today. you you went balls deep today, man. I'm like, yes, I know. Oh God. Yeah, but there's so many. I don't know if you've ever seen the CFD and FX ones. They are like the Wild West. I used to trade FX and CFDs ages ago, and completely different ball game, man, than futures. Yeah, exactly. They might send you a baseball cap and like a mug or something, you know, when you get a stupid little color in your name or something. Yeah, CFDs is brutal, you know. Um, the only thing that I would say that would be quite interesting with that market is if you're a scalper and you're profitable enough to beat the spread, right? You can trade really frequent, and then you can get a rebate back in any of the comms you pay. So if you are profitable, and then you trade really frequently, it depends, or not frequently, that's maybe the wrong word. If you trade with a lot of size, but you're scalping, you can then ultimately be a rebate trader if you go to IC markets where the spreads are really, really good, um, or like Darwin X or something equivalent, you know, and you can end up getting a rebate on your. Mike died again, but you can get a rebate on your commissions, um, which means if you're profitable and so on. That's the only way I can see it really working there. Or if you're just taking a long-term carry trade on I mean, how good is the dollar yen for the carry trade this year? Jesus Christ. It's like the year for the carry trade. Let me actually have a look at that. Let me go to trading view. Wow, far be. Just going to bring up the dollar yen and see how that's looking. I've not looked at that in a while. Do you ever use trading view? I'm not really a major fan. It's a nice platform to chart on. I mean, this year has truly been the year uh, for the carry trade, isn't it? Yeah, crazy. Bought at the start of the year. Nice year where you're getting positive swaps the whole year. Glorious stuff. Yeah, they're trying really hard. The trading view is good, but basically everyone just starts there, right? Everyone starts on trading view. Um, Super easy to chart on and stuff. Really user friendly. The only thing is, if you're into order flow, it sucks. They've got some janky volume profile tools. Their market profile. I know I've used it a few times. I don't know if they've improved it since, but the market profile was really, really lackluster. So, mm, trading, I think the only downside to that is they don't have tick data and they don't have any decent order flow tools. But apart from that, it's a good platform. You know. Another one of my pet peeves as well is the word which I hate is the word liquidity. I feel has been ruined in trading. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're spot on. That's the trouble with TradingView. Um, I think the word liquidity has been ruined in this industry by ICT. You know, sadly. I mean, if you could explain to me, mate, and I would love to know this. How can how can someone say something is liquidity and sweeps and fair value gaps when they don't know the volume behind it? Yeah, I mean ICT's ruined the word liquidity. I mean seriously. I mean I can understand, and I don't really care what strategy anyone trades, right? If anyone takes money at the market, I don't really care. I just hate the idea that the concepts don't really make much sense, you know? Trading is already full of terminology, and then you've got dudes coming in calling stuff like turtle soups and breakers and fucking fair value, you know what I mean? Insert random weird name that might stick, you know? It's a weird one. I mean, if people can use it in a profitable, happy days, but I think it's just a bit weird, you know? And considering if you look at a large candle, you'll know this yourself. If you look at a large candle, you don't necessarily know if the offers have been pulled to create that big bullish candle, right? Or it's just a time of day where there's no volume. So you don't really know if that candle is actually shit tons of volume or if the offers have been pulled. So then people then get that big candle and then draw a little box along it and be like, oh, some fair value gap, you know? And then price comes back and it smashes through it and they're like, oh, it was, it was emitted by the higher time frame one or something. Do you know what I mean? Oh god, honestly. But hey, I've met a couple of ICT traders, that make a lot of money, so fair play to them. But to be honest, man, these dudes that are doing that could literally take any strategy. It's not the strategy, it's the trader that makes the money, to be honest. And that's the thing. It's the actual execution of the trades and trade management is the hard part, you know. I really admire Chris, Laurie, and team of FX and liquidity and general knowledge. Chris, I've not actually checked out that dude. I need to give him a look out. A couple of the guys that I watch or have done in the past, I like Fat Cat. He is some character, that dude. You know, I don't know if you've ever watched him. He he really reminds me of the guy at the Napoleon Dynamite. Oh fuck, with visor and stuff. Oh, honestly, it's hilarious. If you've seen it before, you should check out. It's fucking funny. Great guy. He's a good trader. Great character. He's funny as well. Oh, I laugh at that all the time. He's literally got the visor and stuff. It's hilarious. Oh. So yeah, I'll need to check out this Chris Laurie dude. Who other traders do I watch? Um, seen Axie Future stuff. It's quite good. Axie Futures is quite good. Oh yeah, I forgot. I like the Daniel Inskeep guy. Chris was a bobsleigh champion, so he got that mindset ready, and his knowledge is so vast in terms of banks, liquidity, aggregators, and all that good stuff behind. Yeah, I'll definitely need to check him out. That sounds good. Actually, let me make a note of that. Otherwise, I'll forget. I'll bring up Notepad. Chris Laurie, YouTube for FX for trading. Sweet. Yeah, Fat Cat's good. What do you think of the Carmine Risotto guy? What do you think of him? I'm not entirely too convinced on him, to be honest with you. I just think the fact some random dude that's slinging 15 minis, with 15 screens, it just seems a bit. Yeah, that's the chap, isn't it? The Brannigan dude. He's probably my favourite dude to watch out of there. I've watched a lot of their live streams where he's just executing on the dom. It's pretty entertaining. It's actually pretty. This is why you're here then, because you can sit and watch DOMs. You've probably watched those exact videos where they trade. Uh, I could sit and watch them as well. It's just him chatting and talking about what he's seen in the market and different stuff, which is cool. I've done that as well. But the Brannigan guy's pretty interesting. He's good. He's good. What a boring pre-market this is, by the way. Just completely untradeable, to be honest. And that 50 lot is now moved. Nice. Look at oil. Oil is, jeez, oh. I mean, oil needs a stick to be poked. It's not moving. Yeah, that was what I was going to say. The Daniel Inskeep guy is quite good to watch. Doesn't really claim to be a whiz kid or anything. Oh, Tom Dante. Yeah, Tom Dante. What a classic he is. Tom is some man, to be honest. He's from London, I think. Whereabouts is he from, by the way? Tom's got one of the most London accents ever. He mainly trades the Bund. I think it's FGBL or something. I would actually like to trade that 'cause I'm based in the UK. But it's hard enough, to be honest, trading just US session, regular trading hours. I think if I added in anything else, it would be losing my marbles, to be honest. But yeah, Tom Dante's stuff is great. I've watched his God, years and years ago. His videos have been out for fucking years now. Yeah. Yeah, just zero excitement in this market, man, right now. Do you ever really trade this, or is it just if it gets to the extremes? Yeah, Dante's from London, for sure. Some crazy stories, man, where um he sort of managed to take advantage of those data, basically arbing data providers. I don't know if you've seen this. If you watched Dante, you'd have definitely clocked that, right? Here's you never trade this. Never. Nice. Yeah, I very seldomly trade it. It's only if the market gets really out of whack and we sweep like yesterday's higher low or something. I'll trade it. But to be honest, I'm normally asleep. Um, I've just been doing this to try and kill the monotony. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. God, you've been around the block then, buddy. Canal. That was out years ago as well. Yeah, I've always wondered with prop firms if there's a way to game the sim fills for scalping, you know, like where you're placing a bid here, for example, and then getting out for a tick, you know, kind of like algo trading as such, but just taking advantage of the sim fills. I've always wondered if that's the thing. You obviously can't do it live, but it'd be interesting to see if anyone's ever tried to do that. To be honest, I mean, the majority of people are just clicking random buttons on these prop firm accounts, so they've not really got any strategy or have not been trading for any length of time or whatever. So that's the thing. The barrier to entry for trading now, especially with futures, you know, for all the platforms and stuff I have, earn probably a couple $100 a month for everything included. So the barrier to entry is a little bit higher. That's why a lot of people start with FX and CFDs, because you use that shitty MetaTrader platform. What a terrible platform that is, honestly. Pretty sure you've executed in that in your time, but it's garbage. There's one thing I was going to say, would be interesting to speak. There's a couple of market maker videos, but I'd love to see in every market, right? It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts if you've got a theory behind this. So in every market, there's always some MBO large size sitting below the um, below the lows. You need to go. Right, cool, buddy, no problem. I'll chat this out anyway, and then you can see it in a replay or something. Okay, man, you have it. Thanks for popping by. If you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe and like button for me. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, the what would be interesting would be to see from market makers why they're sitting at these times with these large orders. It's almost like they're just setting a range, and the market's just picked up at 1 a.m. Oh, you want to listen? All right. Okay. Um, the the fact that these large orders are sitting, and it's in every market, right? So this is CL. You can see there's some large orders. If you scroll down, you can see there's some large orders. You know, there's one here now on NQ. There's one down here on NQ. There's one up here on ES, right? So my theory so far for watching this for so long is that they're almost capping the range, right? And this is the part when you go to bookmap or anything. This is the part where you're going to the heat map on bookmap or using historical market graph or something on Sierra, where you're seeing these large orders sitting there. Now, obviously, the longer they sit there, the longer they're not just fake orders, right? You know, obviously, it can change when price gets there. But it'd be interesting to speak to market makers to actually see the reason behind why they're sitting these offers there. You know what I mean? It would be interesting to see the actual reasoning behind that. Because typically the market goes to these large orders to get filled, right? And as you know, there's probably some icebergs around these order types as well. It's like a massive game of poker, because if you had maybe 500 lots, you're not gonna, you're not gonna show that. To be honest, 250 is a lot. You know, 250 is a lot to flash in the DOM. I think these are definitely used to engineer liquidity. These orders, you know. So, anyways, that was my point. But interesting to hear your thoughts on why you think those orders are there, and what the reasoning is behind them, to be honest. Also, if you notice, we just did a nice little sweep there of the highs and then back to point of control. Classic. People would sit and watch the DOM for a month, they would see that this literally happens all day, every day. These sweeps. Question myself as I know it's the same thing, but believe there's algos who try to trap other algos. Seen AS for an algo flash, some other fire up. They get caught. Yeah, but interesting to see. There's a couple of market maker dudes on Chat with Traders. If you listen to those podcasts, I mean, ultimately we do know that it just engineers liquidity, right? People, retail traders see it, they get trapped, then they get stuffed, fairly common stuff. But it would be interesting to know what their strategy is behind it, not just, we've seen it enough times that we know what happens, right? Where we know, but it would be nice to see why are they sitting with 250 here? Are they actually looking to get filled, or are they just looking to try and get the bids up and ultimately just unload prices in here? You know, there's another video I was going to do. I'm going to cover a video on open interest, delta, and then combining it into the DOM, like as a general picture overall. Because I think it's interesting to know, for example, that yesterday NQ open interest was negative on the day. Yesterday closed today, and then we had the huge sell-off. For example, we had a bid early on in RTH, and then we had a sell-off. So, I want to cover all these points. For example, trying to come up with a content, to be honest with you, because I need to try and keep it relatively not too complicated, to be honest. Because some people don't know what a candlestick is, and you're firing open interest and volume at them. Yeah. Yes. So many different moving parts to trading, man. Mm, yeah, I'm probably gonna hit the myself too soon, man. Not too much going on here. The market, we've just rotated around the point of control. But yeah, stop by more, man. Make sure and give it a share and all that good YouTubey things for me. That would be much appreciated, if you could. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I might cover. I mean, I kind of covered it on the, the best, basically how to configure your DOM for Sierra. I kind of covered that, but what this is, what the price, how everything works. But yeah, I think I should maybe go in depth, to be honest, because a lot of people look at this and they get really, really freaked out. But as you know, when you've looked at it for ages, you know exactly, where we're at. You can see instantly this is where the most action's traded. The market did not spend a lot of time down here, and we've traded a lot of volume. You know, so I can cover a video around that. I'll come up with some ideas and see. But yeah, much appreciated you stopping by. Um, I typically tend to do this I do this at market open, just because it's relatively chilled. I stream a little bit, around about 7 if I've got any open. I'm in GMT, so trade roughly about 6 or 7 o'clock. I'll maybe stream it if I can be bothered. And then I try and pump out a new video like every couple of days. Typically the plan. Try and get this rolling to build a community that's actually dedicated to order flow, rather than just around volume profile, market profile, and order flow, which in my opinion are the three components that pretty much make the market. We've got Mr. Jim Dalton, who's, if you've ever watched his webinars, they're the hardest things ever to watch. I don't know if you've ever watched that. It's funny. Oh, he's fucking shit at technology, that guy. No wonder he's about 80 though, so it makes sense. So, but yeah, father of market profile, as they say. Anyways, man, I'm probably gonna boost myself. I was hoping we would have seen some more action at these orders to be filled, but this looks like they've been pulled higher, because I'm pretty sure they were here. They were here before. No problem, man. Yeah, I'll be on there tomorrow, and if you want to pop by again, buddy, we can shoot the shit and hang out. Might be good. Anyways, man, you have a good evening, and I'll see you later. Peace, man.